Hey, Matt Man's back. Well, my sister was kind enough to save up all of their spare pocket change, and this is the result. I sorted it all out and reimbursed her $374.02. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hunt all of these coins in this video in my first multi-denominational hunt on YouTube. So sit back, let's see what she got for me. I am going to start with the pennies. There's $11.27 there, about 22 and a half rolls, a little less than half of a box. So what I'm going to be looking for: wheats, copper, varieties, heirs, proofs, counter stamps, and any upgrades I can get for the albums. Alright, I'm about probably 15% of the way through. I got my first wheat, 1946. And I got a couple Canadians here. One's a 65. But on the scope, I have the best example of non-doubling I've ever seen. I mean, look at that. Stands out like a bleaking beacon, but it's just machine doubling. Most severe case I've ever seen. I finished up all those pennies, and still the only wheat that was there was that 46 I found earlier. I did have 3 upgrades. I'm going to upgrade that 1960. I'm going to upgrade that 1972. And I'm going to upgrade that 1974 Denver. A few other things. I did have 2 Memorial San Franciscos in fairly good shape. I saved those out if they're decent enough. 2 1982 small dates. 4 1909 Lincoln Centennial Series. And I had 8 Canadians. A 64 young head the last year. 6 different bronze cents. And 1 copper-plated zinc cent. I also got 1 pound 6 ounces of copper. Let's move on to the nickels. I am sorting away, and normally I don't show the 50s, but check that one out. 1958 Denver, but there's even a hint of some steps on it. And I just found a 48 Denver, pretty slick. Okay, I finished up the nickels. So I had that 48D, and I had a 54 Philly, and of course this 58 Denver, and it's a draw. So I'm just going to leave the one I had in there, try to save the book a little bit, but that's definitely a keeper. And just a couple of Westward Journey ones that are in good shape. Time to do the dimes. Get out my extra strong magnifying glass. I finished up with all the dimes, and there wasn't much. There seldom is with dimes. I did pull a couple 09 Denvers. There's only 50 million of these made. You know, that's relative to the other mintages. I did have close to a DDR. Let's see if you can see it here. If you look here, this is the DDR. It's the olive leaf over the staff, and I have that here, and it's the only one I really saw like that, but it doesn't quite match up. Closest I came to a variety all day. I also had a lot of die chips. So this one, he has one over his eye, one on his nose, one on his chin. It looks like Franklin's been a naughty boy. And then here's another die chip on the reverse on the olive leaf there. But I saw a lot of small ones. Moving on to the quarters. Since I'm not doing a roll search, I'm doing it a little different this time. So I separated them all out. Those are all the Eaglebacks. Those are all the states. Now, those are roughly equal before my stacks fell down. And then that little bit there are the 09s, the territories, and the District of Columbia. And these are the National Park Quarters, or America the Beautiful series. Those are Washington crosses the Delaware, just 1921. And the American Women Quarters. Now, I'm going to sort all these. I'll do the Eaglebacks first and then go on down the line and probably give a report after each group. I am done with the Eaglebacks, and I had no finds, no upgrades, no additions. On to the state quarters. Well, I got through all the state quarters and a few things to show. First thing I got are these two Canadians. I found those in the initial search and forgot to report them. So there's an 88 and an 02. The 02 is the 50th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. I also found a state quarter. It's been counterstamped. Let's see if you can read it here. It says, every July. Have no idea what that means. If you have any idea, drop me a line. And then I got two die chips. I'll put them on the scope. Okay, this first one is an Arizona, Philadelphia, and the chip is that extra cactus leaf that's covering up some of the initials. In a normal coin, that whole cactus leaf is not there. And the other pretty common one is the Alaska bear. And of course it's the claw. And that one has two die chips on it. I've seen them with more. That's all I have to show you. For additions to the album, I have this Oklahoma Denver Mint 2008. It's the last actual state quarter I needed for the book. Now I have all 100 of the state quarters. I'm still missing 3 of the territorial quarters. And I have 14 candidates for upgrades to the book. So that's next. I'm updating the 2000 Denver, Massachusetts. The 21 Denver, Rhode Island will get updated. Upgrading the 02 Denver, Mississippi. Next up, I'm going to replace both of the Alabama quarters and the Missouri Denver quarter, the 03 Arkansas Denver, and the 04 Florida Denver. Next is the 06 South Dakota Denver Minted, the 07 Philadelphia Idaho, upgrading that Utah 07 Denver, and the New Mexico 08 Denver, and adding the Oklahoma Denver 2008, which will complete all 100 state quarters. And last, but certainly not least, I'm going to replace the 2009 Philadelphia American Samoa, which will only leave the 09 Denver Guam, the 09 Denver American Samoa, and the 09 Denver Northern Mariana Islands to complete this book. All right, moving on to the National Park quarters. Now, in the Red Book, they call this the American the Beautiful series. So, which one do you like it to be called? Back when I have them sorted. I finished sorting out the America the Beautiful quarters, and I have 25 I'm going to check against the album, but I finally had some success. So on the scope right now, I have a 2015 Nebraska Hempstead quarter, and there's an error on it. Let's see if you can see it here. It's there on the fourth window, second down from the right, in the lower right-hand corner. You have that doubling on the bottom and a little bit on the right edge. And that's the picture in Variety Vista. So that's a solid one. It is DDR 070. But the finds of the hunt so far are these two W quarters. So this one's going to be a 20 because it has the privy mark on it, but it's pretty weak. Otherwise in good shape. We have a Weir Farm, and we have the Northern Mariana Islands. So happy with that. I don't have either one of these, and this would be my 6th and 7th different W that I found during coin roll hunting. So that made everything worth it. Now I'll go ahead and check those against the album. I have no additions. I'm going to upgrade the 2010 Denver Yosemite. Also the 2010 Denver Yellowstone. Upgrading the 13 Denver Great Basin. And the 13 Philly Mount Rushmore. The 2015 Philadelphia Homestead will be upgraded. We'll finish up with the American Women quarters. And I found a Sally Ride DDR. Okay, I took a picture and blew it up so it would show out better, but it's there on her chin, and yeah, that's a good little DDR right there. I'm now at the point where I can add the Anime Wong, both Philadelphia and Denver, and I can add the Bessie Coleman Philadelphia, still haven't come up with a Denver, and the rest of them I'm just accumulating waiting till I get a healthy amount to look through and giving it time for the errors and varieties to surface. So I'll do a wrap up coming up. So these are the finds of the hunt. I had that ugly 46 wheat. So this is a copper 1982 Philly small date. And this is a zinc 1982 Denver small date. A young head 1964 last year. That beautiful 1958 Denver BU didn't make it into the book. So for Roosevelt dimes, I had 209s. I pulled 2 die chips and a maybe DDR. Going on to the quarters, which, as you can tell, I did the best at. I got this California counter stamp again every July. I had the Arizona die chip covering the initials, and I got the Alaska Bear Claw die chip, and 2 Canadian quarters. Here are the good finds. A Homestead DDR, the Sally Ride DDR, a West Point minted American Memorial Park quarter, and another West Point minted Weir Farm quarter. Okay, so what I have here are partial boxes of all the denominations, the coins I just sorted, plus the amounts in these boxes and on the boxes, totals a complete box. So I'll round out these 2 searches to be a box of each denomination. So I hope you join me for that. Until then, Matt Man's out. If you're getting any value at all out of this, please subscribe, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and hit that notification bell. Thank you very much.